Today is Wednesday, July 26th, and welcome to the Man Cave Podcast. My name is Jeff Schaefer, and for the first time ever, I can see...
Jeff Schaefer, what is happening? This is Sean Stark. If you're still listening on the podcast, obviously you're not going to be able to take full advantage of this, but I can see your lovely mug, dude, and you're like Chicago Bears out right now, man. Look at that.
I do have a lot going on. When I put the jersey on, I'm wearing an old school Urlacher jersey. I kind of forgot it says Man Cave right up there behind me too, and Bears logo. So I got a lot going on. And right behind you is again my ugly face with the logo. So great job by you.
How about that? Yeah, I got your face plastered everywhere. And actually, if you guys, I'm going to kind of move out of the way. There is a little Chicago Bears action going on down here as well.
Oh, we got a Bears hat. This is great. This is our first video podcast. This is a big day for Sean and I. We have a great guest for this occasion who's also on video. We'll be able to find that on YouTube, I guess. We're still working out the details of that stuff. But Jenny Blighe is here, and she is... just, gosh darn it, one of the smoking hottest redheads I think I've ever come across. Are you familiar with Jenny, Sean? Have you seen her before this moment?
I got to be honest, I wasn't until you sent me the video last night, but I took the the liberty of searching her a little bit, and that's a worthwhile search, man. She is a smoking hot girl, and that is really an understatement. And she seems super cool, so I'm excited to hear what she's got to say.
She was great. She is a cam star on My Free Cams, but she does a lot of boy-girl videos and stuff, which she puts on Pornhub. So we talk a lot about the line of, what's a porn star, what's a cam star, where she falls and where she's going. And she talks about farts a lot, which God, do we love that here at the Man Cave Podcast.
Say no more. That makes her even, she's hot and she talks about farts. It really is a Man Cave Podcast kind of girl. She might be a contestant for the Man Cave Podcast Hall of Fame coming up. Got to induct somebody here in the coming weeks.
That's right. If this is your first time here at the Man Cave Podcast, we're glad to have you. You can follow us on Twitter at Man Cave Podcast. You can follow Sean at The Healthy Movement. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. That's on you. I mean, I don't say it quite as eloquently as you. I mean, I could try at The Healthy Movement, and movement with no vowels, I think, is the way it goes.
That's right. And the website for all the shows you may have missed is the Man Cave Podcast. We actually had a new listener come to the show this week via Twitter, and he was like, these are all great guests. He starts pulling up Ashley Sinclair and Brie Olson and Jesse Jane and all this really cool stuff. So there is a huge archive there for you guys to check out. And Sean, at the end of every show, we have the world-famous Man Cave Championship Wrestling.
And it is world famous. It's gone international because we have had some international listeners rather. Hey, cheers to you. Look at that right there, man. You can see us having beers. Ladies, eyes up here. So back to the Man Cave Championship Wrestling. It is an international sensation. It's probably the best. Well, it is the only wrestling fiction on the internet, I think.
That's right. It is as if you could imagine how they put together Raw week by week. We had the listeners of the show submit us character ideas, and we were able to take that and build a wrestling universe. It's like we're the video game. You create a character, you give it to us, and we do wrestling fiction. That's at the end of every podcast, and it even has its own Twitter, and that is at the MCCW. So we got a cool match this week, right, Sean?
Super cool. It's super unique. You're not going to, like we said, we're the only wrestling fiction on the internet, but you're not going to find this match anywhere. I promise you. I promise you that. But you will find it here at Man Cave Championship Wrestling, coming to you live from Old McShafer's Brewhouse, the venue where all the madness takes place, man. That is our secret haven. So it's really worth checking out. And if you're watching on video, what we're going to do is kind of break up the show a little bit. So that'll be the end segment. It'll be part 2. So you can check out part 2 of the video. Just kind of easier to compartmentalize and all that. But, Jeff, you mentioned that the listeners could submit characters. We've also had guests that have come in and submitted characters. Guests like John. John, yeah, jeez, I'm dying over here. John Cruz, thank you. Serpentico, he's using Serpentico on the Indies right now, and so his name didn't readily jump to mind. But so we've had Serpentico or John Cruz come in. We've had Jessica Ryan also created a character. Man, that's a great character. So the guests are getting into the action too, which makes it all cooler.
That's right. Last week we had Hannah Ferrier from Below Deck, the reality show, on. We should have. When I meet her next week in the city, we'll have her create a wrestling character. That'll be my agenda when I hang out with Hannah Ferrier next week.
I can't wait to see what she comes up with. She's going to be able just to really paint the walls with a just awesome personality. I can't. I'm really looking forward to that, Jeff. And I kind of got wind of that on Twitter that you're going to meet Hannah Ferrier. I mean, you get to do all the cool shit. I'm basically here like editing video at this point, and you go hang out with the cool chicks by all means.
Come on up. Come up to New York. I came to Florida to hang out with you. Now you come up to New York and hang out with me and the hot chicks.
We are still recovering from that from Man Cave maintenance. So that's we're just about over it. I think I may be able to make it up north. Just about the time the weather turns, I'll be up there.
Fantastic. We do have an exciting raffle this week. Something we've never done before that we're trying. So we do have Man Cave Championship Wrestling T-shirts that support everything we do at the podcast. Sean, are you wearing one right now? Do you have one on? Oh, fantastic. This is Sean. She's going to stand up for us, give us the view. There it is. Man Cave Championship Wrestling. That's one you'll see. I am wearing the same one in my interview later on the show. I have. Can you see it back there? Right there.
We see it. Look at that. Look at that. That looks like I've seen that logo somewhere before.
Possibly. And we have a new Vice one coming soon too. So we got a lot of good ones. But we're gonna do a raffle. So the T-shirts, instead of asking you to pay the $20 for a T-shirt, all you need to do to qualify, and this is the first week we're trying this, so we need all your support, is for $2. You can get a raffle ticket, and we will randomly select a winner, and you get to pick whatever T-shirt you want. The one Sean's wearing, the Pabst Blue Ribbon one, or the Miami Vice one, which we just launched. All you have to do is send your $2 raffle entry to Jeff Schaefer 1 at PayPal, Jeff Schaefer 1 at yahoo.com through PayPal, and you will be entered. As long as we get 6 entries, we will send out a T-shirt. So I'm pretty excited about this. And do we get to enter, Sean? Can we win a T-shirt? Because we have to pay full price.
We really do. Yeah, there's no. I mean, this is not like much of a discount here. So I'll throw my $2 in. Hell, why not? I mean, there's a lot of gambling that's coming up here in the Man Cave podcast. This is just the start. I mean, we're talking about the upcoming fantasy football league. We've got the workout challenge going on. The bum to buff challenge. So it's just a lot of chances to get some really cool stuff, and this is the start of it. So count me in for sure.
Cool. So guys, again, you can tweet me for the info if you need it, but just PayPal, $2 raffle ticket to win a Man Cave Podcast T-shirt. They retail for $20 plus shipping, so we want to make sure we get some more of those out there. And $2 raffle ticket. The email is jeffschaefer1 at yahoo.com, SCHAEFFER 1 at yahoo.com. Now go to the PayPal. I'll pick a winner randomly, and we will send you a T-shirt from ProWrestlingTees.com. I hope this works out, because we could do this every week if we get enough participants.
I mean, Twitter's been pretty hot on it so far. So I think at least we get over this first hump, get guys show how it works, and I think we'll get. I think this will catch some traction, man. It's only $2, guys, right? Seriously, I mean, we've already got some people that have purchased the shirts full price, and that's the thing. If you do get a shirt from us, then take a picture, man. We're definitely going to retweet that shit, and a lot of hot chicks follow Jeff. I don't really get the hot chicks so much. I don't know why that is. I get like the buff dudes and whatever, but we might. Hey, there's a chance that one of the hot chicks, like Ashley Sinclair, is going to see you in the Man Cave wrestling shirt, Man Cave podcast shirt, and be like, dude, who is that super hot guy with that super cool shirt on? So for $2, I mean, look at that. You can get your ego stroked.
$2. And I think, speaking of getting things stroked for money.
Nice segue. What? We're done. That's this. Joke can't get any better.
Did you hear the Hugh Freeze news? I'm sure you did. You're a big college football area down there. Ole Miss head coach Hugh Freeze got fired for apparently calling escorts on too many occasions.
Too many occasions. I wonder where the line was drawn there. I mean, it's we were okay with that one night. We thought it was the butt call, but now it's just obsessive compulsive, and he's got to go. So one wasn't enough. It had to be somewhere around what number? I don't know. I'd like to find that. We'll have to get the MCP journalist team, MCP, on it. But that's the whole story is weird, Jeff. I mean, it's like there's twists and turns and drama and stuff you wouldn't expect. But the bottom line is, I mean, dude, why are you calling escort services when you're on you're on Old Miss campus. They have the hottest women, period, bar none. You ought to be able to just walk out and get that shit for free. But hey, man, I don't know what his problem was. It definitely took him down. He ain't going to get a job for a hot minute.
Well, a couple of things crossed my mind is that they really started this whole thing by finding one weird number in his phone. They went through every number in his phone call log, and they called one, and it was a known prostitute, which I have a lot of questions about how someone becomes a known prostitute in their own way. You'd think that you could eliminate the problem over there, but okay, whatever. So they track this down, and then they get his personal records, and they pull that he's been calling this number all the time, and he lost his job for really all they can prove is that he made phone calls. I go to a lot of weird websites. Can I lose my job too? This whole podcast is kind of weird. I mean, like, where's the line of things you can lose your job for?
My man didn't lose his job. My man walked away from, what was it, like $14 million? My man, it's shit was bad enough that he just checked out with money on the table. So obviously, I mean, yeah, he lost his job because at the end of the day, they said you can do this or, resign or we'll fire you. But I guess was he fired or did he? I feel like he resigned because he did leave that.
He might have resigned. I think you're right about that.
He walked away from.
Uh-oh. Sean's down. Man down.
Speaking of going down, back to the Hugh Freeze story, but he did. He walked away from like $14 million, and so if you do that, there's some level of guilt, right?
Because I think him walking away in exchange for that, they dropped the investigation. So I think that was the quid pro quo on that. But
pretty sure.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
What I took me 2 weeks to put together. I didn't even thought to even cross my mind that these prostitutes probably weren't for him; they were for recruits. Totally, I just thought he was, an average man cave listener who likes to peruse the websites a little bit. I kind of just thought that's what we were dealing with here.
Masses, innumerable amounts of snatch. I think it had to have been for the team. If not, he's got to be approaching Wilt Chamberlain numbers for sure.
If not, he may be listening right now with all his free time. He may be on the. If you're there, tweet us at Man Cave Podcast and enter the raffle. I know times are tough.
Yeah, seriously. And Coach, you're going into the Hall of Fame right there. I mean, if they're all for him, that's an instant first ballot Hall of Famer right there.
Man Cave Hall of Famer. If he, we have weird criteria for our Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, well, everyone has been through the Man Cave tournament of hot chicks, so we definitely know the criteria.
Yes. You know who would be a first ballot Hall of Famer? No questions asked. No questions asked.
Talk to me,
Mr. Ric Flair.
I have no questions.
His 30 for 30 is coming out. It finally is announced. It's finally finished. It's going to come out in November. And it looks like, I don't know if you saw the trailer, it looks like they're really talking shit about Ric Flair. Like, it's not like a fun piece. It looks like they're going through, like, the bad parts of his life. Do you know Ric Flair history? You're a big wrestling guy. Do you know any good stories?
I know some Ric Flair history. I thought 30 for 30 was like his score at the bar last week. I mean, he's still pulling snatch. It's incredible. I do know a little bit of his story. Some of it's pretty tragic. He's been through a couple of wives. I mean, the amount that he has owed in alimony at one point, it was ridiculous. Might even still be. But, I don't know. He's, at the end of the day, he's kind of like the old school Carnian. So you can just always fall back on that. Well, listen, Carney, man. What happens, guys? He's still living it up. He's not really toning it down. Not one bit.
A buddy of mine was in Philly. He just started a new job, and he was in Philly, and it was the night before his first day of training, and he went to a bar, and the bar was about to close, and he's like, I better leave because it's 11 o'clock. I got training, and he looks over, and fucking Ric Flair is at the end of the bar throwing down beers, and the guy goes to the bartender, he goes, buy that guy a beer down there. And he goes, I'm Ric Flair. You don't buy me a beer. I buy you a beer. And then he partied with Ric Flair all night long. And he almost lost his job because he was out all night drinking beers with Ric Flair. When he got to training, the guy was like, what happened? He's like, here's pictures of me and Ric Flair last night. They're like, oh, my God, just go home. That's fine. Still kicking it.
That's a fantastic story right there, man. That's and that could have easily been, that could be like yesterday. I mean, Ric Flair is still on fire. I'm surprised that I haven't seen him or heard of him being in Orlando, or I don't really know where he hangs out. But I mean, he's got to go out while he's here. It's got to be a good time. So, and he still slays. It's amazing.
Just they had on SportsCenter yesterday. They had this guy doing the long drive championship, and he did give me 2 claps on a Ric Flair. Woo! He did the whole alligator high flying thing at the long drive championship. So Ric Flair's reach is unbelievably long.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Just like Willie D, man. I think everybody, even the casual wrestling fan knows Ric Flair definitely, and he probably crosses over into non-wrestling fans. I think if you did the woo, they would know it. They might not necessarily know where it comes from, but that's they're doing Daddy Rick's thing.
Yeah, and this 30 for 30 looks like it goes into like where the line got blurred, where Ric Flair became Ric Flair even when he wasn't in the ring. Like when he was out, he kind of became that person. And I'm really looking forward to seeing kind of the dark side of it.
Definitely, and he gave us Charlotte. So,
what do you think about Charlotte?
I think she's a hell of a wrestler. That's what I think. Yeah, I mean, if you're asking like what, I mean, she looks hot. I mean, I'm not gonna. I definitely I wouldn't toss her out of bed unless there's more room on the floor for sure. No, she's not like in the Bailey category for me. I'm not like struggling to find something. I can easily slip into a good Charlotte fantasy.
Have you seen the naked pictures of Charlotte? Have you seen the leaked pictures?
Man, you know how I feel about that, but I did, and I didn't. I was again DM'd unsolicitedly. Can't help but look when somebody sends them to you, but again, I think that's kind of a private matter. But do your duty, don't share the nudity. Remember?
Oh, that's right. That was the whole thing. But I think she's one of those women who looks better with clothes on than with clothes off. Like she's obviously in super shape, and when she does the splits, I think she's hot. But besides that, on Twitter we came up with like 10 hottest wrestling people, and she was in the bottom of the list. Some had her on the list, some had her off the list. Females in wrestling, she was like tiering 9 to 11.
Only in WWE, or are we talking
in WWE?
In the E, okay.
Mark Caruso sent out a list, and I was like, you can't come up with 10. And he was like, hold on. And he came up with 10 right away. Emma, Paige, Eva Marie, both Bella twins, Emma, I don't know if I said Emma already, Stephanie, Renee. Like, it just adds up quick. You get there fast.
Tamina?
Maybe not Tamina. Alexa Bliss. I love Alexa Bliss now.
It didn't make the list either.
No, Alexa Bliss made the list. Tamina did not make the list. Either did Nia Jax.
I didn't. I mean, what kind of skewed list is this crap? Yeah, well, Alexa Bliss has been she's been pretty popular with the fellas since she was a ring announcer in NXT. She gets a lot of run. Good for Buddy Murphy who locked that down. I have to give him a lot. I'm going to give Buddy Murphy a cheers right now because to go home to that and to let that leave and come back to you is pretty dang awesome. I don't mean like the chauvinist way, but to be listen, man. She goes on the road 200 days a year, man, and he doesn't. So that takes a lot of patience.
Plus, if you watch her on SmackDown every week, when she holds the belt over her head, she winks at me every time she starts a match. So I don't know if he knows that, but she winks right at me.
So incredible, dude. She and Sarah Jean Underwood are like just all about you, bro. It's just, I love this.
I'm getting nowhere with Sarah Jean Underwood. That is my golden goose, my great white buffalo of guests. I keep sending emails and nice little tweets, and it's just not working out. That's how I got Jenny Blighe, a couple nice little tweets. This is her first podcast interview, by the way. Sarah Underwood, no such luck.
And she goes farts. That's my kind of girl. So I can't wait to hear what this girl has.
Do you see Paige has a warrant out for her arrest down in Florida there? I think it was Florida.
Is that confirmed? Because there was a lot of bullshit going on about that. No one could produce the like. They were saying that she was there was an arrest warrant and that she would be picked up in Houston or Texas and that they would extradite her to Florida. That's a little.
Send her right to you.
God, I'll visit her and I'll put money in her canteen for sure. But usually I haven't seen the arrest warrant, and the only thing I saw last night was a bunch of crap. And I know that Florida generally does not come and get you for a misdemeanor warrant. They don't give a fuck. So I'm pretty sure Harris County isn't going to lock her ass up and then say, Florida, here, spend all the money to come get Paige for what is a domestic dispute inside of the airport. Unless it's a felony, then they'll come get her. But I think it's just a basic domestic dispute here, man.
See, everything you say makes total sense, but it's just not as much fun as the rumor as she has a warrant out for her arrest, and they're shipping her across the country for throwing a beer at Alberto Del Rio. I like that story better.
I know. Don't let me be like downer with the facts. I know we play it fast and loose with that shit here, but I think that this, if she has a warrant for arrest, basically what Florida is going to do is, sorry, you come back to Florida, we're gonna pick you up, and at that point, I mean, she could just come turn herself in Orange County, go first appearance, make bond, and be done with it. I mean, if she does that, any which way, if she gets arrested, that's her third strike. She's done with the WWE, but.
Yes.
I haven't seen a credible arrest warrant yet, and it just sounds like, I mean, it's all speculation right now to me.
I don't think her and that Del Rio guy are going to work out in the long term. I don't see this little thing working out. I don't know.
Well, hell of a relationship counselor, man, to see that one. You know, I don't know what the Vegas odds are on it, but I'm going to put money on not working out. I'm pretty sure we've been in that relationship before.
Yeah. There was Battleground was this weekend, and it was moderate at best. I watched the whole damn thing. It was really kind of disappointing. So there was a Punjabi prison match. So in our Man Cave Championship Wrestling, we're going to have a Punjabi wrestling match, which I'm really excited about. Sean came through with that, with a Punjabi match. That'll be in then after the interview. And also there was a botched finish. AJ Styles and Kevin Owens. It was a weird double pin thing where they were laying there and the ref counted to 3 and AJ Styles was pissed off. It looked like a work, but turns out it was a botch, and they already reversed it on SmackDown this week.
Wow, those are two professionals. That just goes to show, man, that can happen to you when you got 20 years of experience. But dude, botched finish sounds like the name of a great porn. I mean, or a punk album, one of the two. I mean, that's pretty sure I had that with Mrs. Movement just prior to the show.
Oh, a little botch finish after a 5-knuckle shuffle.
All relate.
Yes, absolutely. So do you? That's all the wrestling news. Are you paying attention to basketball stuff at all? It's a weird time for sports where there's not a ton of shit going on. But Kyrie Irving is demanding a trade out of Cleveland. Is this anything you care about this time of year?
Man, I care. Listen, on the scale of things I care about, is like the NBA, and then Cleveland is below it. So these are like a double whammy if I don't give a shit sandwich.
Great. So it's going to be a great topic to end our segment one. Kyrie Irving, he's tired of playing with LeBron. I think he's tired of getting pushed around by LeBron, dictating how his career goes, how Cleveland goes, running the franchise. I think he wants to be his own thing. Talking about his dad wants him to be an alpha dog at his own team, run his own franchise. All this goofy stuff going on. Stephen A. Smith is going crazy with it. I know how much you love him. I'm trying to think of a good spot for Kyrie Irving to end up. I think he's a really good basketball player. When Cleveland, without LeBron and just Kyrie, they lost like 50 games. So I'm trying to see where he fits if a trade goes through.
Hey, man, we take him in Orlando. Him and his flat earth theory be all right. Fit right in here. I mean, the people in Cleveland are like, oh, we don't give a shit. You think the earth is flat? We still like you. Hell, hey, get out of that town. Go he should go out to L.A. somewhere. He'd fit right in California.
That's true. I'm starting to think the earth is not flat. I saw a good diagram about how, daytime and nighttime are different. So the earth can't be flat because the sun can't get to, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure the earth is round. I'm feeling good about that.
Let's just ask our good friend Hannah Ferrier, who happens to live in the southern hemisphere on the other side of the world. We'll call her around midnight here, and I bet she's up and hanging out due to that sun thing. I think you're right. I don't know. Kyrie could be we could be proven wrong. Listen, like we have been known to be fact check here at the Man Cave podcast, usually through tweets.
Yes, true. And Hannah's great because she will have some wine and be drunk tweeting me at like 3 in the afternoon. My time, 3 in the afternoon. It's late night her time, but she's talked to me about all sorts of nonsense. Hannah's a superstar. She's a big fan. We're going to have another interview with her with this thing in New York, so get used to more Hannah Ferrier.
If I could just, I know we're on video and she's super smoking hot, but just her voice on audio alone, I could listen to it all day long, mate. It's great. It's fantastic. I love it. I love when she comes on.
Me too. This week's guest is just as fantastic. It is Cam superstar, My Free Cam's legend, Jenny Blighe. She is. I have a thing for smoking hot redheads. I don't know if you know that about me, but if you follow the podcast, you can probably put that together. And Jenny is all of that and more. She's really fun. She's really sweet. She tells a lot of great stories about her life, about getting started, about her business. about her some really funny porn bloopers, which I think are great stories. She talks about the fart stories about a guy who kept. Well, you'll figure it out. It's really funny stuff. And then after that, we're gonna have Man Cave Championship Wrestling, our porn jobby match. Which we'll go through the details of that. So if you've never heard our wrestling fiction, Sean's still celebrating. Stick around for that. We also, don't forget, the raffle, Sean. I'm still excited about the raffle. How about you?
I'm in. I forgot my wallet, so listen, can you spot me really quickly? $2?
Yeah, man.
I was gonna PayPal you and all that, but I forgot my and stuff. So spot me $2, and I got this. You guys hit up your best friends and hit up your whoever you need to. Listen, Ma, can I borrow $2? Dig some money out of the couch. I don't care. It's $2. Send it to Jeff. I promise we'll put you in the raffle. We're not going to make off. It's not like one of them Fonzie schemes or anything. Just a simple Man Cave Championship Wrestling Man Cave Podcast T-shirt. You're going to want it. All the chicks are going to love it. I mean, that Man Cave Vice shirt is smooth. I heard somewhere about a tank top.
I have a tank top on its way to my house. A Man Cave Miami Vice tank top coming. It could be in the mail tomorrow. I'm pretty excited.
Dude, that's super fresh, man. I can't. I got to check that out. I'm in on one of those. If you guys want to be in on one of those too. 2 is the magic number. $2.
$2 PayPal. JeffSchaefer1@yahoo.com. That is my personal email too. So send your dick pics and send it away.
Awesome. I just read an article about that being a thing. I'm like, unsolicited dick pics is a thing, and I'm like, is this article from like 10 years ago or 20? Because I don't. Yeah, of course it's been a thing. Anyway,
is this breaking news from Jeff? Is this Jeff talking about something new and exciting, unsolicited dick pics? It's everywhere.
That's it. It must be, yeah. That's according to this article. It's brand new.
Yeah,
breaking news.
So if you're watching the interview, you'll notice I have a costume change. I'm wearing the Man Cave shirt. I actually made a bad decision with the backwards hat. I've really kind of regretted after watching the video, but whatever. You live and you learn. It's our first video experience. Jenny didn't mind. It bunched up weird. It's not great, but the interview's fantastic.
They're not. No one's looking at you. I mean, I'm just gonna put it out there.
Fantastic. So, guys, we're going to play a little music. We're going to have our interview with Jenny Blighe. Stick around. We'll come back after that for Man Cave Championship Wrestling. Sean, you good for a couple minutes?
Hey, man. Yeah, I'm gonna be all right. Y'all gonna see what I really do during the break here. Come back for Man Cave Championship Wrestling. It's called the Creative Process. Trust the process, man. I'll be here waiting.
Enjoy the interview with Miss Jenny Blighe.